Happy Friday, lovelies. I normally don't do two posts or 2 days in a row of posts, but I've been thinking about this Confederate flag debate and the recent protests and dismantling of some Confederate monuments that have occurred both by government sanction and by protesters, and the pushback that's occurring, and also in NASCAR, and the pushback that's occurring from those still in support of the Confederate flag and monuments, and this kind of reasoning for that, in that, well, the Confederate flag is not a symbol of hate, it's a symbol of heritage. And so I want to address that. Excuse me, it's a little windy out here. Want to address that. First off, that is accurate, that it is a symbol of heritage. And the idea that heritage exists mutually exclusively from hate is not, it's rhetoric, and excuse my language, it's bullshit, because this nation has a heritage of hate, right? So you can have a symbol of heritage that is full of hate, i.e. slavery. So there's that. And so to get to the facts, the actual facts and the historical accuracy of it all, and the historical timeline of it all, we need to understand where the Confederate flag evolved from. So the Confederate flag was initially the symbol for the Confederate Army. The Confederate Army was the Southern Army, the Southern states that had started to remove themselves from the Union when they understood that the North was going to likely abolish slavery and not going to condone slavery. And as the Union was expanding and gathering Western states, the North's view was that they would not make slavery legal in those Western states, and that then Abraham Lincoln was clear in his Emancipation Proclamation once elected, in that he was going to he was abolishing slavery. And so that separation from the Union that those states, that the Southern states initiated, was how we ended up in the American Civil War. So a lot of history books cite that it was for states' autonomy. They didn't want to have to adhere to federal rule. Well, that's true. The only federal rule they didn't want to adhere to was that they didn't want to let go of their slavery or their slaves, because it was what was building the nation. It was building their economy. It had boosted their economy in the South, because their economy was just flourishing in cotton and tobacco, which was what their slaves labored to do for free on their backs. So the North wasn't the sole basis of their economy. They were farming, and it was different. So it's not that they didn't have slaves, but it wasn't the sole basis of their economy. So thus the Civil War and the Confederate Army. Now, that flag symbolized the Confederate Army, and then it had evolved into symbolizing the South, even after the South surrendered in 1865 and remained a part of the Union. So then the Confederate monuments were set up in order to show that, yes, we are still part of this Union, but we are white supremacists, and we still rule, and there will be no freed African slaves in our part of the land. We don't care what war was won or what we had to concede to. So, to answer or be clear about that, yes, the Confederate flag has evolved as heritage. It is a symbol of heritage, and that heritage is hate and enslavement, and then further along into that, Jim Crow, the black codes, and the terrorization of black people that is still going on today. So I'm not going to allow anyone to tell me that the South that Confederate flag is a representation of Southern heritage, not meant to oppress, because that is exactly what it was. There were people who died to continue to try to continue to keep Black Americans enslaved in order to boost their economy. So when someone says that to you, you can respond with, it is a symbol of your heritage, and that heritage happens to be hate. Happy Friday.